everyone, Rob here, Kern's Guitars. How you doing? Getting back into this. We got, this is the third part, which is actually in two parts. So it's 3A and 3B. I broke it up into the neck blank and the fretboard. Decided to do a couple different things with the fretboard instead of just keeping it a piece of wood. So make sure you watch that. I'd like to thank everybody who's subscribed, thank everybody who's been watching these videos and liking them and sharing them. Really appreciate it. Keep it going. And I'll shut up now and we'll get right into it. All right. Yeah, as I said before, I had two blanks picked out for this. I decided to go with this one because the other one is just maybe about 2 inches, a little too short. First thing you need to do is get the surface flat. So I grabbed my number 7 plane and trying to sight down it so I can adjust the blade to get a good thin shave. I won't take too much off. Want to get it so it's just taking off a thin shape like that, starting to grab, and then when you start getting full shavings, then you know you're getting closer to being flat. You want to go back and forth evenly. You don't want to take too much off in one area or you're just going to make it out of square. Without knocking everything off the bench, you grab your straight edge. Check under the straight edge, see if you can see any light coming through. Right about here is where I can see just a little bit of light on the other side. So I'm going to take off a little bit more and that should do it. One more pass across the whole thing. Yeah, now would be a good time to see if my neck's even wide enough. There you go. That's cutting it close. There's me marking the center line. Yeah, there's the neck already drawn out on there and where the nut placement is. That's a video that didn't come through. My camera's been giving me some issues. So not all the footage that I took of this build is going to be on this, but I'm marking up truss rod. Now the whole point of this marking out the truss rod is so that you don't route your channel too big, which I ended up doing anyway. There's a bunch of ways to route this channel out for the truss rod. I choose to use the template with a little spacer bearing in there. Some people use a fence on the side. Doesn't matter either way, it still gets a straight line. Remember, many passes shallow will be better than one deep one, and your bits will thank you. Look at that, there's no video of me marking out the outline or the profile for the neck, so let's just say I'm using the force here. Now I like to cut the headstock angle first, and then I reattach that blank back onto the headstock with Scotch tape and super glue, just so I get a smooth surface to cut the rest of the shape out. Otherwise, with the wacky shape of the headstock, sometimes you can't line up to get a good cut without basically almost losing a finger. See, with the shape of that headstock, it would have been a lot harder to cut that angle afterwards. Then you just break off the little angle piece. Now it's time to flatten the headstock. You can use a number 4 plane. I just prefer number 7 just because it's longer and flatter. And then what I'm doing is I'm bringing the angle as close to that line for the nut as possible. That's where I want the angle to start, right after the nut. Check to make sure it's flat. The excess for the truss rod, otherwise you're not going to be able to adjust it. Now what we're doing here is I didn't feel like waiting for my truss rod to come in the mail, so I'm sacrificing an old neck blank off a different guitar. I'm going to salvage the truss rod out of it, and then when my truss rod comes for this guitar build, I'll just throw it in this neck, and that way I can keep going without waiting. Just got to apply the heat to it, and then slowly pry it up, and then when it gets warm enough, the glue will melt, and then you can pry that right off. Here we're aligning the profile the neck. We'll cut that next. Get it all flush with the neck surface, or the neck blank surface. Look for a pen, and of course I don't have a sharpener. Around. Maybe there's one over here. You know what? The heck with it. I'm just gonna grab another pencil. Look at that, it's sharp. That slight little bend in it hasn't affected my neck profile in the past, so. Because it's obviously not the way it's the final shape. This is just a rough outline. And then when I do the headstock, I don't even bend it around. I just get a measurement of the tip of the headstock and then run that down, which is usually about 15 mil or a little over half an inch. Yeah, I've got the TV on, so you'll see me occasionally glance at the TV. Got lit. You always check for flatness. You can never check it too many times. Every time you take wood off, the wood has a tendency to move or flex or something, so you always want to check to make sure you're still flat before you glue anything together. And those are not potato chips. I am grabbing my hearing protection. Wedge up here in that headstock shape. Clear that point. Yeah, don't try to manhandle the bandsaw at this point and just kind of balance it in your hands, because the bandsaw will win every time. Here's a neck, very roughly cut. Yeah, now thank you, Mr. Ben Crow. We're going to use this handy dandy little super glue and masking tape trick yet again. Pay no attention to the non-OSHA approved router stand I have right there. That's so I can get to the nut to change the bits. know how or why this masking tape and super glue thing works, check out Crimson Guitars. Ben's got a bunch of videos on it. He explains it really well. Now I have a nut line marked on my template and a center line going all the way up to the end of the headstock. So I'm lining up the nut line with one side and then running the center line all the way underneath my thumb, lining up the center. And that's it. Now it's time to route it. Alright, I seem to have lost the footage to that too. That seems to be the theme this week, losing footage. Cool. Alright, so we'll end it here. It seems to be a good spot, and the next one will kick off with the fretboard, getting that situated on fretboard blank. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to thank everybody who has taken the time to watch these videos, who's taken the time to like, share, comment on them, and most of all, please subscribe. If you don't want to miss an episode, hit the little bell button next to the subscribe, and it'll alert you every time the new video comes out. Also, the official guitar build-off has just ended, I believe, and right now we're in the voting stages, so go to Great Guitar Build-Off on Instagram and vote for your favorite. Check them all out. Check them all out on YouTube. They all have their final videos posted. There's some amazing stuff out there, and there's even amazing stuff from these unofficial builds. I mean, I'm totally blown away by the talent out there. It's unbelievable. I'd like to thank Primson and Texas Toast Guitars and everybody who's been a part of this from the beginning. You guys have really nailed this. This is something that's really cool. I hope you guys do end up doing it again next year and get the whole judging thing worked out. Also, I believe there's links to each individual has a charity that they're going to be donating to. Their guitars are up now for auction. You can put in a bid for them if you want. Or I believe you can also still donate to their individual charities. But go check out guitarbuildoff.com and get all the details. Thank you again, everybody. And if you haven't yet, please hit subscribe, hit like, check out the other builders that are doing this for the Unofficial Build Challenge. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. There's some good talent out there. Subscribe, share, hit the bell. You know what to do, man. Peace out.